Welcome back to The Hard Shoulder. I'm Mandy Johnson, standing in for Eoghan Corry today. Well, Aer Lingus have agreed to the Labour Court's recommendation that pilots should be paid a 17.75% pay increase. And Eoghan Corry, editor of Air and Travel magazine, he joins me now. Eoghan, does this mean that the summer of strikes has been averted?
Good afternoon, Mandy. It's been a while. It's great to hear you. It's going to be a while before passengers can relax. This is the start or the middle of a process, which means that the deal which the Labour Court announced, and it's sort of a Solomon's sword. The pilots were looking for 24%, Aer Lingus were saying 12%. They've come down around 18%. So what will happen next is Aer Lingus have accepted it. IALPA will look at it and recommend whether they accept it or not to their members. This we know from the past, Mandy. IALPA will follow the executive's recommendation, but it's going to be another 2 weeks before passengers can relax, and I would expect another couple of flights cancelled, probably 100 more flights cancelled.
So do you think IALPA are likely to accept it, looking at those figures, Eoghan?
Yeah, it's a hard one to call because the current IALPA executive came into power by believing their predecessors were not hard enough with Aer Lingus. You've a strong background in politics and the negotiations and all of those sort of things that took place. So I do expect them to take a hard look at it. And the real enemy here and the real problem for passengers is that when you've got the mandate for a strike, it's a hard thing to get. It takes usually 14, 16 months. IALPA got a little bit quicker. They've been through arbitration already. So they have that mandate for a strike. And the fear here is they'll say 18%, good enough. Let's put that in our pocket and go back for a better deal. Face-to-face talks with Aer Lingus. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
So who do you think has come out the better of this? Do you think the pilots have won?
It's a pretty much a win for the pilots, but the 18% isn't just straight €18 for every €100 you earn. It's 9% backdated. It's about 8% forward dated. Looking across the European landscape, not that different from what the Norwegian pilots did. Not that different from what the Scandinavian SAS pilots got after a series of strike actions during the summer of 2022. A little bit less than what Air France are looking for. So it's pretty much right around the median of pilots and the increases they're getting. I would expect certain members of IALPA, a good proportion of the members of IALPA, to be happy. The executive may feel that they have got the mandate for the strike, they've caused disruption, and they're in a very, very strong position, and they've proved their strength to Aer Lingus. Let's go for something more. Also, looking over the shoulders of Aer Lingus, Mandy, and this is important, is IAG. They're looking at the other airlines in the group, Iberia, British Airways, and Vueling, and they seem happy enough to concede this one for an IALPA. It would be great if IALPA recommended acceptance, if we got the vote going next weekend, and by the middle of next week we had a deal that made everybody's travel plans for the summer were back to normal and they could rely on things again.
Indeed. Look, on that sunny and optimistic note, let's leave it there.
Always optimistic, Mandy.
Always optimistic.
Always a pleasure.
That's Eoghan Corry, editor of Air and Travel magazine.